Welcome home. This is the Irish Roots Cafe, where every day's a holiday and there's always room for one more. Come right this way. Have a seat with me today in the corner booth, celebrating our 94th week of the Irish Families Worldwide podcast. Sweeney, clear that floor. Katie, go ahead and bar that door. Molly, put on another pot of Irish coffee. It's time we get this show on the road. We've got another full house today, not a chair to spare. I'm Mike OLaughlin, your host, and you can reach me anytime on my webpage at irishroots.com. And be sure to check out our written show notes on the blog, because you can just click there on the links that I'm talking about in this podcast and go right to the site, and that's a mighty handy thing to have. And remember, you can call in any time to 816-256-3360 and leave your comments or leave your message, or let me know that you want to be interviewed or that you've got some comments you want to have included on the show. Try it, you'll like it, and it's all for fun, and it's all for free. Among today's topics, McCloskey wins the title, Ireland's first ever turkey walk impaired by elephants, Mac, Mick, and O names is the book of the week, searching for Moriarty and Kennedy from Dingle to the U.S., County Leitrim, Ireland is the county of the month, Catholic websites are banned in Ireland. Say it ain't so, Patty. Number 7, call to Newfoundland O'Shaughnessy families. Number 8, Moriarty and Leitrim. Leitrim Roscommon websites of the week, and National Library of Ireland Guide online. Well, that reminds me, you can get all 3 of my free broadcasts online. Just click the links on the on my blog, or on you can go right to iTunes and type in Irish Roots Cafe or Michael OLaughlin. You'll be able to find me. I'll have it all set up, and you can also find all the free broadcasts. Gosh, now there's actually 5 broadcasts altogether, 5 different feeds. You can find them all on my webpage as well as on iTunes. And you don't need an iPod or an iPhone, but those work fine. All you need is a computer, and it'll work just fine. Notes for the week. Well, our first 2 video podcasts are up in the video series and running, complete with accompanying blog entries on my regular blog there that explain a little bit more about the video than just the picture, and that's the first time I've added those comments in. Let me know what you think about that. These first 14 shows are the quick ones, and then we'll have some more, getting even more specific on genealogy and questions and history and that coming up later. But for the first season, we've got it all ready and running, and it's up, so each week it'll be coming out. Number 2, Irish Roots gives a big thank you to iTunes. We've just been given a providers page, and that gives us our own page, so you can click on one of those little arrows when you go to search for podcasts. And if you click on one of our arrows next to one of the podcasts, it'll take you to a page with all 5 of our podcast feeds, and you can choose which one to pick. So if you click on the music one, well, you might want to hear genealogy, or genealogy might want to hear the history of the Irish in America. It makes it all very much easy, and we've been trying to get that page for a couple of years now. I'm glad to see it come about. So an Irish Roots thank you to iTunes for letting us have that. And number 3, roving reporters are wanted. Now, have we got any roving reporters out there in the audience? Now, all countries are welcome. As a matter of fact, it's a little more exciting when we get a bunch of different folks from all over the world to talk. And we'd like some reports from around the world. You can call in and talk to me, and we can report it. We can always figure a way to do it. You just got to decide you want to do it. And I can take all the information by phone or record it by phone and then put it up on the podcast. If this sounds like fun to you or to someone you know, contact me right away. We'll try to make this happen. And you can just click on that contact link on our webpage at irishroots.com, and that'll get you right to me. And we've got a phone message this week. Then they called and asked about getting a recitation CD from us, an Irish recitation CD. Well, we don't have that yet, but we might just be coming out with a CD with some old Irish tunes on it pretty soon. That would some of them be in English and some of them would be in Irish, and we're thinking we're putting on a play here at the cafe, and we're thinking of recording the tunes from that play, so it'd sort of be like an old-fashioned Irish musical you'd be hearing. Stay tuned. They're going to be in very limited quantity. Well, that brings us up to the next segment here, and that's going to be the Book of the Month. Well, the Book of the Month this month is Mac, Mick, and O names in Ireland, Scotland, and America. Got a link for that on our blog, and that's also listed under books we publish on our webpage. And I tell you, we'll take a little bit. I'll just sort of read through this book, let you know what kind of things I put in it. And it was back in 2003. I had so much miscellaneous information on names that I had to do something with it. And so I just pulled out a study of all the names that began with Mac, Mick, and O, and based upon census records in Ireland and in early America. And many of the families I note and pinpoint their specific location in both countries. And it includes extracts on these names from the works of O'Hart and a chart of all the Mac and Mick names from the 1790 U.S. Census, along with a count of the names by county. So it's really interesting if you're trying to take a big picture look at those names, or where your name might have just came into America in 1790, as well as being in Ireland later on. Or in Ireland in the census of 1659. I included those all in there too, so you can see it all together. And I also give the ranking of the top Mick, Mac, and O names in the United States based upon the Social Security records. And I also included the 1659 census, like I said, and 19th century records in Ireland. And it sort of ties the whole thing together. It's fascinating if you're interested in surnames. I don't have a whole lot of first names in that book, because this is about the last names and where the families might have settled. And from the introduction to that work, I'll read that. That might be of interest to you out there. I said, by Mac, Mick, and O, you'll always know a true Irish or Scotsman, they say. And the purpose of publishing that book was to introduce you to the meaning and use of those family names. Of course, Mac names originate in Scotland and Ireland. You can't be sure whether it's Mick or Mac. Could have come from either country. And the O names, which many say came first by many accounts, are almost exclusively Irish. And nearly all the old Irish surnames were originally with the prefix of Mac or O. And I tell you, they were such an attractive addition to names that some families settled in Ireland from abroad, and they took a name with a Mac prefix just to fit in with the crowd. And that included the Vikings and the Normans. Sadly, though, some old Irish families would drop that Mac or O during certain periods of turmoil in Ireland, so the plot thickens when trying to determine exactly what your name might have been spelled like way back then. And I think that sort of gives you an idea what that book might have in it. And remember that coming up, we've got a little notation and website on about Ireland's first turkey walk being held, and where is it happening this year? What county would that be in? And what in the world did an elephant walk have to do with it? Coming up in just a little bit. But now it's time for the County of the Month. Today's County of the Month is going to be County Leitrim, and we're basing that on the County Cavan and Leitrim Genealogy and Family History Notes book. Last week we did Cavan. This week we'll take a look at some of the names in Leitrim. And, of course, you got Kelly leading up the list, and that happens in more than one county, as we all know. But there also is Reynolds and Flynn and McLaughlin and McHugh and Rooney, McMorrow, McTiernan, Keeney, McGowan, Riley. These are all from the 19th century birth index. Byrne, Gallagher, McDermott, McGovern, McSherry, Mulvey, and a few more. Let's quickly move now to the County Leitrim families on the map of the Four Masters. And that's an interesting little spot. You can see what names were there in earlier days. And that's as compiled in the Annals of Ireland by the Four Masters, the Connellan translation. You got names like Ford, who was a chieftain, and McClancy, who was a lord, and MacCosnava, who was translated as Ford, Dortchy and Fergus and Finvar, and McCourty, and let me see, McKinney, McKeon, McPartland, McRannell, which became Reynolds for many people. So some of you Reynolds out there might actually be McRannells in disguise from the old Irish way with things. And McShanley, O'Kernan, O'Finn, Meehan, Mulvey, Rodahan, and O'Rourke, the prince. That would have been the Irish prince. So that's just an example of the names on the map in the Annals of the Four Masters, and that's the only edition of the Annals of Four Masters that has that map. It's the big map in the back of Volume 2. And now we're going to talk about, wait, what's coming up later this episode? There's a web page that's been banned by the Irish government, www.veritas.ie. And this is censorship for sure. Wait till you hear the rules for that one. Oh, now it's time for raising our eyes skywards, giving thanks, and asking for help. Here are today's Magnificent Seven. New member David G. Moriarty of Decatur, Georgia, searching for Moriarty and Kennedy from Dingle in the 1860s, and they went to Massachusetts. Number 2, Wayne Pricer of Royal Oak, Michigan. Your genealogy books on Meath, Westmeath, and Clare have shipped. Robert Williams of the Bronx in the New York. Your Donegal book has shipped. Charles Barber of Limavady, County Londonderry in the UK. Your County Derry Genealogy and Family History Notes book has shipped. And Janet Fessier of Hawthorne, California. Your Irish family books have shipped. Tim McAuliffe of Wilmington, North Carolina, Your Families of County Cork has shipped. And number 7, Dale Smith of Toccoa, Georgia, Your Kilkenny Genealogy book has shipped. Hey, that reminds me to say thank you to each and every one of you who have joined up as a member, because without you, none of us would be out here enjoying the podcasts and the books and the research. So thanks a lot. None of it would be possible without you, so I appreciate it every time somebody signs up. Well, now it's going to be time to move on to a special name that we take for one member each podcast here, and the name today is going to be Moriarty. Today's family history is in honor of Moriarty and our newest member, David G. Moriarty. And, of course, he's searching for information on the family, as I gave early under the Magnificent Seven. He was number 1 among them for sure. And if we take a look, that name, of course, can be spelled different ways. It could be a Mac Moriarty. You might find it as O Moriarty. You might find it as Murtaugh. There's been some interchange in there. And we've taken some of those spellings from the Master Guide to the Various Spellings of Irish Family Names. The link to that book's on the blog. And if you take a look at Moriarty, most of the time I hear people talk about the name in the west of County Kerry in the baronies of Corkagany and Trugahany. I'm not sure how you pronounce that, but it's centered in the Castlemaine Harbor area most anciently and even prior to the Norman invasions. And I think I did some research once and found them on the lakes of Killarney, and they were water-going folks. And then they got sort of pushed out of the way with the coming into the Donahues and the McCarthy, I think. But I'd have to confirm that by researching, which is what you guys should do too when you're looking for your family history. And when that Norman invasion came in, the Fitzgeralds rose to power there and sort of put them in second place. But they've remained in County Kerry right down into modern times. And in Keating's history, Old Moriarty is given in the parish of Temple Knowe and in some adjoining areas in the barony of Duncarron. And they're spoken of as chiefs and given as such by O'Haran. Now in County Meath near Kells, another family of this old Irish name exists, and Murtaugh is there as well, and that's a name of Scottish origins in Ireland, but it can be confused with Moriarty, believe it or not. And all this has come from the Book of Irish Families, Great and Small. That's the very first book in my 34-book set on Irish families and Irish families research that we finished up earlier this year. Well, now it's time we move on to what? The Irish family coats of arms. Hey, we took a look at the Irish Book of Arms, and what did we find? Moriarty is given in the Irish Book of Arms with an illustration of their arms. And hey, you want to hear the official reading of the name? You might have to get the book to translate it to know all these terms, but argent and eagle displayed sable. Crest is an arm in armor embowed holding a sword fessways entwined with a serpent all proper. Now, would you think a serpent would be all proper? Very interesting. We're going to move on to the last segment on the family name, and all of you can go to that Free Master Index and search for your name and see how popular that name might be by the number of returns it has on it. And you don't type the O or Mac if it's on the front of the name. You just type the root of the word, like O'Reilly. You just type in Riley, and it'll pull up all the names for Riley and O'Reilly. What do we find here for Moriarty? Well, the Families of County Kerry book, the index says there's a Moriarty in Boston listing there. And Irish Genealogies, which is volume 3 of Keating's History, has the family in it. And the County Meath and Westmeath book, that's got the Moriartys in it. And gosh, that Families of County Kerry book, here's more. The Moriarty Arms, Bishop Moriarty, Moriarty Branches, and Moriarty's Hotel, all found in the index to the Families of County Kerry. So that could be a very interesting book for those of you who are Moriartys. And the history of the Clan of Rory families in Ireland has a little bit about the two Moriartys. And Captain Thomas Moriarty marries Deborah Bodwich. That's in the Journal of the American Irish Historical Society. And of course, it's in the Annals of Ireland by the Four Masters, the Connellan translation. So, boy, there's plenty to find on the Moriartys, and we'll have more on them in a little bit. But now it's time for the websites of the week. Well, we've got 4 websites this week. We thought we might just start expanding that. And you can click on the links to any of these websites on the blog. If you go to my blog, you can just click and go and look at them real quick. Number 1's the Moriarty Family Genealogy Forum, and that site is for posting messages from those searching for Moriarty all around the world. Number 2, Moriarty Genealogy webpage, and that's a one-page summary of the author's research, and he calls it The Ancient History of the Distinguished Surname Moriarty. Number 3, the Leitrim Roscommon Genealogy website. And, just for example, there at the top of their website, they collect a lot of databases, it looks like, and they say, many thanks go out to Roger McDonnell and his dedicated volunteers. All the 1901 census records for County Leitrim, Roscommon, Mayo, and Sligo are now entered in the 1901 census database. And that webpage was last updated on December 7th, 2008, according to that webpage. Number 4, A User's Guide to the National Library of Ireland by Eileen O'Doul. And she's got that up there, and it's a little one-page thing that sort of explains about the library, its holdings, and how you might want to act when you go there. And, of course, the main thing people are looking for is the Catholic birth registers there. And she tells a little bit about the library and how to feel comfortable if you're going in there for the first time. No, that does it for the User's Guide to the National Library of Ireland. Now we're moving up to the last segment of the day, and we've got some doozies today. Curious news and notes. Well, the Turkey Walk is a go. The Parades Commission has approved Ireland's first ever Turkey Walk. They'll be walking right through town center in Irvingstown, County Fermanagh, and they were told to apply for a permit. And you know why that might be? Because there was a circus in town not too far away. It was an auspicious moment because there was an elephant parade of sorts in Bangor, and it caused some disruptions. And I can imagine if I was walking down the street and there was a parade of elephants coming at me in Ireland, I'd be a bit puzzled and just a little bit worried. And you can see more about that in the Belfast Telegraph. I've got a link in the blog, so you can take a look at that. Number 2, Newfoundland calling O'Shaughnessy's. The Stella Bury Community Services is searching for the descendants of Mother O'Shaughnessy for the official opening of a homeless shelter. And it's called the O'Shaughnessy House, which honors O'Shaughnessy in Newfoundland. You can see more on that article in the Galway Independent. Number 3, Ireland's getting more expensive than ever. Ireland was ranked 4th in the list of most expensive countries in the world. My, things have changed. They are ranked in front of Sweden, Finland, and England, and this is even worse than last year when they ranked 6th. You can see the Irish Herald for more information on that. And number 4, Dr. Barry was honored on his 100th birthday. Dr. Vincent Barry, who discovered the cure for leprosy, is being honored in Ireland. And he was born at Sunday's Well in Cork City, and he developed drugs that have helped bring about a cure for millions of people. So 3 cheers for Dr. Barry. We need that kind of research to continue so we can help people out with all kinds of ailments and maladies. Number 5, McCloskey grabs the British title. So you wouldn't be saying down goes McCloskey, would you? No, sirree. Up with McCloskey. The Dungiven southpaw Paul McCloskey won the British light welterweight title over Colin Lines in Dagenham, Essex of late, and he has a perfect record to date. All victories in professional bouts. You can see the BBC for more information on that one. Oh, number 6, the finale today. And quite a finale it is. I tell you, can you imagine an ad like this being banned by the government in Ireland? The ad goes like this: Veritas has a range of different and thoughtful gifts, something for everyone. Drop into your local Veritas shop. This Christmas, why not give a gift that means more? Books and candles, and so forth. www.veritas.ie. Well, they won't allow that website to be mentioned or to say things like nativity scene or similar things. I guess you couldn't say we have a St. Patrick statue for sale because it's connected to religion and it's connected to a church, the Catholic Church specifically, but it wouldn't matter what church it was. They won't let you make any reference to things like that. So you can open up a shop if you're an individual and sell about anything you want. But I guess if you're a church, you cannot even sell statues or books or say a book might have more meaning than a mincemeat pie. This seems to be a little puzzling. They say that it promotes Veritas, which is run by the Catholic Church, and promotes the characteristics of the gifts by saying they mean more. I tell you what, you can't even advertise a religious or spiritual gift. You can advertise anything else. I believe in free speech, and everything gets sorted out in the end, but when you start censoring things, that's when it gets pretty darn confusing. Let me know what you think about that. And you can see that video given the ad. It's on RTE website, and I've got the link on the blog. And there's a little article, and then next to the article, there's a little video box, and you can have the guy see a report on that live, and he actually reads out the ad and plays the ad on the video. And boy, it's about the most harmless ad I ever heard, but the Irish government wouldn't let him run it. This seems to be a strange thing indeed. Well, remember to send your comments by clicking the contact link on our webpage at irishroots.com, or send by mail to my American address at the Irish Roots Cafe, Box 7575, Kansas City, Missouri 64116. Leave your message or report on things in your part of the world when you call my phone recorder at 816-256-3360 or Skype me at Irish Roots Cafe. Members foot the bill so they get first priority, but we're open to all. And by the way, a big thank you to all of our members, and away.